We'll go back in the graph editor. And we'll loosen up this frame a bit more. We'll turn this back to auto. Let's go back to the left view. Press play again. It's just literally simple adjustments like that. Now with this, because I noticed it comes to a stop too much, maybe within this the amount of frames, within these 5 frames, I'll probably have it move a tiny bit so I'll have a little bit of roll. And we'll right click the Translate Z and key selected. So now I know that this, just between literally from this frame to this frame, there's literally just 3 keys in Translate Z now. Now I know that I want it to slow in even more at this point, so let's select them and press F to zoom in. Okay, so we'll drag this up a little bit so it eases in more to that point. What I'm going to do is hit the auto just to reset this tangent just for now, just so I can go back and adjust it a bit more. Okay, so you know literally from this point here, from frame 1 on the Translate Z to frame 45, that it's literally going to be mostly a linear motion going from one place to the other, but it's slowly losing its energy. Slowly, but as soon as it gets to this point here, most of its energy has been lost, and the amount of energy left will be on the roll, which will be even slower at this point as it slows in here. We go to the view now and watch it again. Okay, we notice that a certain bit here, it travels a bit too much in that distance here. So what I'm going to do, since I already set all my preferences to infinite, I can literally just go back and press Command Z if you've got a Mac, or Control Z if you've got a PC. And just go back to that point where it was. Okay, so we know it was here. So I've got rid of that roll for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this tangent and just, instead of pulling it in, just bringing it up so we get a more of a nice curvature, slow in movement by the end of it. Now press play. You see that we've got a basic side to side movement. Now essentially, when training and learning animation, you have a lot more time in your hands, and so I always recommend to just animate bouncing balls whenever you can, because you never stop learning. There's always new things to learn, whether it's within this assignment or the next. Going back to things and doing them again always helps and keeps your mind refreshed. So now I'm going to work on the rotation. So in this case we're going to press E, and that's going to bring us the rotate tool. And we notice that because our ball is going this way, we know it's going to rotate this way. So it's going to be hitting the floor, bouncing up, and as it's bouncing it's going to spin that way and then hit the floor again, bounce, hit the floor again, and so on until it slows down and loses that energy. So like I said before, with Translate Z we've only been keying the translate Z and translate Y. Now we're going to be keying the rotate X. So what I'm going to do is select this frame. This frame is fine. So what we'll do is select this frame already and key selected at 0. And we'll go to the endpoint again. And this time we'll literally turn it about twice. So a 360 turn. So we change this to 360. And key the selected, and I press play now. You'll notice that there's a rotation happening, going from that key to that key. Only between frame 1 and frame 45. Going through in the graphic there now on the rotate X, it's slow in and slow out. I'm sorry, ease out and ease in. Like the same thing with the translate Z, sorry, that it's going to be traveling with the most speed at the start and losing that speed as it comes to the end. So I'm going to do weighted tangents again. I'm going to break the tangent handles and free up the weight. Select the handle here, hold shift and middle click. And just bring that in. Now, it already has an ease in at the end. It's not necessarily a big ease in, but it's enough to see what is happening. Okay. I'm going to reduce the rotation by the 80 mark and go to 270. Right click and key select that. Now what we might need to do in this sense is probably add another residual bounce, literally probably on one frame, just to show a tiny bit of movement. So now we have that. Now we'll go into the translate Z, since I've added a few extra keys on that control. I'm going to drag this to that frame, drag this out, just a bit more ease in. Go to our left view, see how that looks. Literally just making minor changes, looking, minor changes, looking, until it looks right, until it looks believable. I noticed that within this part here, doesn't move enough to the right. So I'm going to go in between where I think it doesn't move enough here at this point. seems to move too much now. Okay. In this case, we will